Hello, everyone. By now, I'm sure you've heard the news that Jussie Smollett's 16 felony charges involving his staging of a hate crime have been dropped. Most of the outrage I have seen online is more shock and disbelief than anger. So here's a quick synopsis done by ABC 7 New York. Jussie Smollett and his lawyers' responses to the charges being dropped against him raises questions, according to ABC News chief legal affairs anchor Dan Abrams. He said that Smollett and his attorney, Patricia Brown Holmes, would have taken a different tone if Smollett had been proven totally innocent. If the police decided we got this all wrong, I think you'd be hearing a different message from the lawyers, which is, they owe us an apology, this is an outrage, he said. Instead, what you're hearing is, we didn't want to fight anymore, so we forfeited the bond. Smollett held an interview at the courthouse earlier today, and the article reported on some small quotes he made. Not for a moment was it in vain, Smollett said. I have been truthful and consistent on every single level since day one. I would not be my mother's son if I was capable of one drop of what I was accused of. Which is at the same time infuriating and disappointing. We all know this is a lie. The evidence has been clear and presented to the people publicly. The article finishes with the following points. Later in the day, Chicago Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson and Mayor Rahm Emanuel expressed their frustration at the decision to drop the charges. Emanuel called the decision to drop the charges a whitewash of justice. Like Emanuel, Johnson said he stands by the investigation. If you want to say you're innocent, then you take your day in court. I would never hide behind a brokered deal and secrecy. And to that, I have to say, yeah, for fucking real. If you're innocent, then please let this go to court. But what it looks like is that he settled, which is bizarre considering we have the chief of police here and the mayor basically saying this is bullshit. So then, who else could be involved? Well, see, that's the implication that this article is giving us. So, a Heavy.com article tries to fill in the blanks. Now that the charges against Jussie Smollett have been dropped, more scrutiny is falling on whether there is a link between the Smollett case and Michelle Obama. However, that link doesn't come through the former First Lady directly. Rather, it comes through a former top aide of hers who is now working as a lawyer in Chicago. Here's the bottom line. Kim Foxx, the Cook County's state attorney, tried to convince Chicago police to turn the Jussie Smollett case over to the FBI, Chicago newspapers reported. Her action came after a conversation with Michelle Obama's former chief of staff and with a Smollett relative who has not yet been named. You can read those texts here. I have linked them down below, but let's take a look-sees real quick. Hi Kim, I sent an email to your work address, I think, as well. I wanted to give you a call on behalf of Jussie Smollett and family who I know. They have concerns about the investigation. I am on an 8 a.m. flight to NYC, but please call me before then. I land about 10:15 Chicago time, blah blah blah. Oh my god, this would be a huge victory. I make no guarantees, but I'm trying. I understand, I appreciate the effort. Hey, hope all is well. I wanted to check in with you about what's happening here when you have a moment. Okay, are you available to chat now? Yes. I can only assume that the left here is Tina Chen, Michelle Obama's former chief of staff. So these are definitely incriminating, especially because if you look real close at the dates, unfortunately my screen caps are too low quality for re-exporting into a video, so please go look at the docs for yourself. Kim Foxx doesn't recuse herself until the 13th of February, 2 days after Smollett gave his phone records and the same day the brothers were arrested. So now we have this tweet from Julie Bossman, who is a reporter for the New York Times. Take that with a grain of salt, but let's give her the benefit of the doubt because we have no prior knowledge to say that she wouldn't report with integrity. New from Chicago, Joe Maggots, the first assistant state's attorney who made the final decision to drop the charges against Jussie Smollett, says in an interview, "We didn't exonerate him." Maggots, the assistant state's attorney, said he saw no problems with the police investigation or the evidence against Smollett. The charges against Smollett were dropped in return for his agreement to do community service, he said, and for forfeiting his bond to the city of Chicago. Which, come on. Just reading that throws up red flags. 16 felonies gets you community service, and that's fucking it? That's all you get. You get all your shit thrown out because of community service. Well, the article says that Mayor Rahm Emanuel had some angry words to say about this injustice. This, without a doubt, is a whitewash of justice and sends a clear message that if you are in a position of influence and power, you'll get treated one way. Other people will be treated another way, Emanuel said in a joint news conference with Johnson, who also criticized the decision. There is no accountability then in the system. It is wrong. Full stop. A rule for thee, but not for me. But as you may have noted in the title, there is an interesting irony here. Jussie Smollett has been exonerated by the media. If you want proof, here is a tweet that I had shared earlier. Hillary Rosen is a CNN Democrat, as per her bio. But the first tweet says from Rafer Weigel, just got a tip from my Chicago PD source that State's Attorney Kim Foxx is going to drop the charges against Jussie Smollett. The question Chicago police now have for him is, how does Smollett plan to reimburse the city for all the money that was spent on his investigation? To which Hillary responds, seriously, Rafer? He is the victim here. Where is the reimbursement for ruining this guy's life? This lady crazy. And playing up this victim narrative way hard, she kinda sounds like the other disgraced white savior with the same first name. But you know what's funny? Trump was all but exonerated from the Russia collusion hoax. You'd expect in a world in which white privilege exists, Trump would be getting nothing but accolades from society. Or maybe, well, maybe not. Tlaib asking colleagues to support impeachment investigation resolution. For why, you might ask? Well, because the investigation by Mueller only was done surrounding the election, and there was talk, primarily by Cenk Uygur of the Young Turks, that his bad deeds have been done during his term, not before. From the Hill article, in a letter to House Democrats sent Monday, Tlaib called on lawmakers to support the formation of a commission that would inquire whether President Trump committed impeachable offenses surrounding his business while in office and other alleged improper behavior. Quote, I firmly believe that the House Committee on Judiciary should seek out whether President Trump has committed high crimes and misdemeanors as designated by the U.S. Constitution, and if the facts support those findings, that Congress begin impeachment proceedings, Tlaib wrote. Congress can provide an open and transparent process with the sole goal of ensuring we know the truth and make sure it does not continue nor happen again, she added. So there you go. The left's poster child, who was personal friends with the Obamas, was arrested with 16 felonies for staging a hate crime in which evidence was found and shared publicly. Charges dropped. Media loves him. Trump, under investigation and scrutiny since before he was even elected, after 2.5 years, finally gets a break, and the Mueller investigation into election meddling recommends no further indictments. And a freshman in Congress wants to launch another investigation surrounding impeachable offenses. I hope to God that Trump wins 2020. Because otherwise, the new Congress is teaching the GOP how to play dirty. Rules for thee, but not for me. The U.S. political left in a nutshell. But that's all I have for you this evening. Leave a comment down below on what you think, like and share the video. I hope you have a good one, and I'll see you all soon.